Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages, what they are, and how you can improve the relationships with your loved ones. It definitely changed how I handle and view my relationships in my life, whether it's friends, family, or a romantic relationship. So psychologists all agree that we need to feel loved. It is a basic human need that we need to function properly, especially mentally. But how do we know that someone loves us? How do we show love to other people? So in this book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, he actually says that we all express love differently and we all understand love differently. Like the title says, it's as if we are all speaking different love languages. So depending on how you express your love, you speak a certain love language. And the problem a lot of the times is that people will speak different love languages, and because we speak different love languages, we won't understand each other. So for example, if I'm telling you that I love you in German, but you only speak Spanish, then you won't feel as loved because you don't understand that I'm telling you that I love you. And that is pretty much the same concept behind these love languages. So the important thing is to try to understand your partner's love languages and your own love language and be able to adapt and speak the other person's love language so they understand that you are showing them that you love them. For me personally, when I learned about these love languages, so many things just clicked. I understood why people were behaving a certain way, and I understood myself better, how I show or tend to show love to other people. So let's dive straight into the 5 love languages. So love language number 1 is called words of affirmation, and this is actually one of my primary love languages. And basically, when your love language is words of affirmation, it means that you feel loved when others express their love through words of affirmation. So for example, saying that they love you or expressing how valuable you are to them, when they put into words how much you mean to them, that is when you feel most loved. Now, the second love language is acts of service, and this is also one of my love languages. So with acts of service, you show love to someone by doing something for them. Maybe it's taking out the trash, maybe it's getting groceries for them, or a simple thing as making them some tea. Just an act of service for people whose love language is acts of service can really mean the world. Now, if your love language is not acts of service, maybe you won't understand that someone who is bringing you tea, cooking you food is actually trying to show you love. For you, it's just a simple task, but for people whose love language is acts of service, it means that they love you. Now, love language number 3 is gifts. Now, with gifts, we often tend to straight away think of expensive things, bought gifts, but it doesn't necessarily need to be something that we go out and buy extra. A person with the love language gifts really appreciates it when you bring them something that shows them that you thought of them throughout the day. So for example, if you went out on a walk and you bring them home a beautiful golden autumn leaf and you say to them that this reminded you of them during your walk, this can be also a gift. It doesn't need to be something bought. It can be something homemade. It just needs to be something that shows the person that you thought of them throughout the day, and because you thought of them, you've brought them this gift. Now, love language number 4 is quality time. Now, this person really feels your love when you spend time with them. And with quality time, it doesn't just mean spending time with them, sitting there watching a movie. Sometimes with quality time, people can really crave intimate time together. So really spending time together, paying attention to each other, not being on your phone, but really being there for one another and just being in the moment and cherishing each other's time. Love language number 5 is physical touch, and it can be really simple things like placing your hand on the back of the person or holding their hand in public, maybe stroking their cheek or laying your hand on their hand. It can be really simple things, just show them that you care about them. Now, number 1, we need to identify our own love language to understand ourselves better, but then also identify our partner's love language in this relationship. It can be mother, sibling, whatever. And for me personally, it was really interesting knowing my own love language, which was acts of service and words of affirmation, because I found out that I try to tell other people that I love them through my own love language, which a lot of times was acts of service by cooking for them, cleaning for them, or just doing small things for them. But if the other person's love language isn't acts of service, they won't interpret this as me showing them their love. They will just think, wow, that's nice, but nothing more of it. So we should really understand the love language we all speak to be able to communicate appropriately. Now, there is this quiz where you can find out your love language. I'll leave the link for it down below. It's on Gary Chapman's website. Like it is with me, you don't only have one love language. It is more of a ranking, and you can have 2 kind of top love languages. And also it helps you understand your family members or loved ones better, because now you will know that when they bring you a gift that maybe you don't even want, you know that it's actually their attempt to show you that they love you. So number 2 then is to learn to speak the other person's love language. So whether it's a family member, a friend, since it is someone that you love, you want them to feel loved as well. You want to show them that you love them in return. So in order to do that appropriately or to the maximum effect, we should really learn the other person's love language and try to speak it to them as much as possible. And this is often easier as it sounds. For example, one of my boyfriend's love language is physical touch, and this is something that I'm not really used to. Growing up, my family didn't really have a lot of hugging and physical touching, so it was something that I was a little bit uncomfortable with, and it was a little difficult for me to learn that a simple gesture of giving a quick hug or placing my hand on his back is really something that means a lot to him. And on the flip side, me bringing him cut up fruit, things like that, he does appreciate, but he just doesn't feel as loved with those acts as with a simple physical touch. So sometimes it's a little more difficult than we realize, because it's not the language that we would intuitively speak with. And then another thing we need to remember is, because this is their love language, this is how they feel most loved, this is also their weak spot. And we should really be careful, because this is the way that they can be hurt really quickly. So for example, if someone's love language is quality time and it is not of importance to you, or you suddenly deprive them of this quality time, it hurts them much more than it would maybe hurt someone whose love language is not quality time. So be really careful. For example, for me, because my love language is words of affirmation, I can be a little bit more sensitive to words that I might interpret as hurtful than maybe someone else. So really be careful of what your relationship partner's love language is, and be sure not to intentionally hurt them with their love language. And all in all, this is the basic rundown of the love languages. It's pretty simple at first, but it is really something that you need to dive into. Talk to your loved ones, maybe ask them how they would love to spend quality time with you, whether it's a walk or playing a board game. Maybe they do have preferences. Also with gift giving, talk to your loved one, your partner, how they feel most loved. And it really is something that you don't learn overnight. It is a process, and 2 people with the love language gift giving might also be a little different. For more information, I do really recommend the 5 love languages. It's a super quick read, and it really helps you learn better how to speak the different love languages. It really helped me personally in the relationships in my life, understanding the loved ones better. I now understand why people do things that they do. It is because they want to show that they love me, even though I might not necessarily interpret it as love. Let me know if you know of the love languages down below in the comments and how this changed your relationship. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!